I have dedicated my professional career to the study and control of arthropods.
Hello. I was hoping today to be using I got a new little Acer mini laptop, the Aspire One. It's just a awesome little machine. I was hoping to be using it to record today's video, but maybe later there was some issues with the microphone. I think they might be resolved, at least according to a very nice gentleman from India who I spoke to on technical support. It should be getting fixed. But anyway, so at least for video one today, I am going to talk about a Carl Sagan quote, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And I know that this is kind of self-evident, maybe obvious, but I think it really, really warrants exploration given the number of extraordinary claims people make, and rarely, if ever, provide the extraordinary evidence required for those claims. And and this applies to myself. I mean, I certainly try, to be cautious of the claims I make. So I want to talk. The reason I was thinking about this week, on my way to work, I was driving down the road and a robin flew in front of my car. This has probably happened to most of you. Robin flew in front of my car, and it was so close to the front of my car that I, for a split second, was positive that it was dead. I mean, it was positive that and I saw it fly out the other side. So somehow it was able to fly, duck down in front of my car, and avoid getting killed. It was pretty amazing. In fact, I would call it an extraordinary event, even though it's happened a lot. It's a relatively common event. So with that, I started thinking to myself, okay, I go to work, and I'm sitting there at the water cooler, right? Let's say I'm talking to one of you, okay? We work together. And I'm talking to you, and I say, what just happened? A robin flew in front of my car, and I was positive I was going to hit it, and somehow it miraculously managed to make it flew away and safe. It somehow dodged the car. Now, the question I would have is, would you believe that story? Do you believe that story is true if I were telling you that? And I'm going to just say, chances are you would. All right? Say not knowing me, or knowing me, whatever. But chances are you would believe that story was true. And the reason why is because, first of all, it's not really an extraordinary claim, right? It's a fairly commonplace event for any of you who drive in the country, especially. It happens. Birds like to dodge cars. I don't know why. Okay, so it's probably happened in your experience. I could be lying about it. I mean, just because it's a commonplace event doesn't mean that you don't know that it happened to me, right? I could have just been making it up. It could have happened to me a year ago, and I just remembered it, and I'm going to tell you it happened this morning. Okay, but there's no real reason to doubt it because it's not an extraordinary claim. So let's just say, okay, here's Bob. Now Bob doesn't trust me. Okay, Bob is pretty convinced that I'm full of shit about almost everything I say. Bob at the water cooler says, bullshit, that didn't happen. And I say, oh yes it did. So Bob is my doubter. Bob is my skeptic for my story. So here's my buddy Fred, who we carpool to work together. Fred, did not a bird fly in front of my car today? Oh yes, you almost hit it. I couldn't believe it managed to survive. Fred just verified my story. Now, Bob, do you believe me? Yeah, I guess so, Bob said. Bob believes me now, right? So I didn't provide extraordinary evidence. I provided some evidence. And what you have to look at is with this claim is, first of all, if there was no witnesses, I'm telling you this. Do I have anything to gain from this story? Does this story in any way enhance my, is there a woman in the office who now wants to mate with me and have my children because I dodged a bird or a bird dodged my car? Probably not. Am I going to get a bonus for it? Am I going to get anything for it? No. So there's nothing in it for me. But that doesn't stop some people from lying, of course. Some people just lie because they can. So, and but then on top of that, now that's compounded. Now that Fred verified my story, Fred collaborated my story, and says, "Hey, yeah, it happened." Fred even has less to gain from that. Okay, so therefore the story has some weight if it was an extraordinary. Okay, now let's back all the way up again. Now we're at the water cooler, and I say, you know what happened to me this morning? I was driving to work, and a 8-foot tall, hairy ape man ran out of the woods right in front of my car. I almost hit it. It wailed this horrible howl and then ran off into the woods. I had a good 20-second look at it. It was the most amazing thing. It was clearly not a man in a suit. It was clearly a flesh and blood primate, some primeval thing from man's distant past. Now, do you believe me? Or are you going to call bullshit on that? I mean, it doesn't take a Bob to call bullshit on that story, right? You're going to say, yeah, give me a break. That just happened to you. Most people would doubt that story, right? Because it's an extraordinary claim. I call Fred. I say, hey, Fred, on the way to work today, did we not see a creature that someone might describe as the mythical Bigfoot or Sasquatch? And Fred says, yeah, we did. Now, is everybody going to say, oh my God, it must be true now, right? No. Okay, some people might. But the reality is most people are still going to doubt my story. They're still going to say, okay, what do you and Fred have cooked up here? Because the claim is extraordinary. And you know what? There's actually something in it for us. At the very least, we've seen something amazing. We've seen this once in a lifetime event occurred with us. That has some. So even though there's somebody supporting this claim, chances are few people are going to believe it. Okay. Now, if we had a video, that still wouldn't prove our thing. I mean, but if say we had photographs, we had a video, and say another witness, we were carpooling with Steve, and he was in the back, and he saw this too. So now there's 3 of us with a video with that. Okay, now the evidence is starting to become extraordinary. Now suddenly it's becoming less likely that we just made up the story, and so on. So this is the way. The reason this long rant about robins and big feet is that I want to sort of, when you make a claim, when somebody makes a claim, especially an anecdote, a personal anecdote, and you sort of have to weigh that. Okay? I mean, I can lie about anything. I mean, I can lie. I can tell you right now, I got black socks on. Do I have black socks on? No, I don't have black socks on. In fact, I'm barefoot right now. I just lied about that. I can lie about it. Okay, but if I make that claim, there's not really any reason to doubt me because it's not a very extraordinary claim. If, however, I'm saying something else, I'm wearing some diving flippers right now. I'm probably lying. And the same thing goes with claims of UFOs or supernatural events or religious events, whatever it is, okay? Those extraordinary claims really require extraordinary evidence. And so I know this is kind of it's probably preaching to the choir for most, but anyway, I thought I'd make this for my first video, and hopefully I will make a video outside today. So I will see you later.